G'day guys, it is Superiority and I'm back playing some Battlefield 3 Armored Kill on Tank Supremacy. Now this isn't an overly fantastic gameplay, but one thing I did do is try where I can to stick to the tank battles. It is called Tank Supremacy and I believe that that's what it is designed for. One disappointing thing about this game type so far is that a lot of the maps and games I drop into have people just spamming javelins and so on and so forth. A sniper will drop in, or recon I should say, with a SOFLAM, get the SOFLAM set up, everyone else sits up on the hill with the javelins and just destroys the tanks. Now surely there are already plenty of game types and maps and everything that would allow people to get in there, or to get their javelin out and destroy vehicles and take down vehicles like that. This is called Tank Supremacy, not Javelin Supremacy, and I believe that DICE has built this game type with the intention that everyone jumps into tanks and battles it out. Now I've heard a few people complaining that you're unable to spawn in your teammates during the game, that you can only spawn in deployment. Now the reason I believe DICE has done this is to encourage people to get into tanks. You know, when they die, they go back to their deployment, you wait for the next tank to spawn, and you jump in it. The only possible change I could think about making is allowing people to spawn into a pre-existing tank. If one of your squad mates is out in the tank already, then yeah, perhaps let you spawn into that one. But other than that, I say continue to not allow people to do it. Anything that encourages people to go and jump in tanks. Now I think it is probably something that in the future this will fix itself. I think at the moment everyone's just sort of keen to get in, playing the map rotations, but once it dies down and Armour Kill becomes old news again, people start going back to Metro and all the rest and whatever else they want to do, I think the hardcore Armour Kill fans will start playing the game like it's meant to be played, and that is by jumping in a load of tanks and just battling it out. Now there is only one flag in the middle of the map. At the moment it's all pretty crazy, people aren't really interested in the flag that much. Kind of whoever gets the flag earlier on in the piece, and it seems to stay that way. Now I have nothing against people going in when their tank does get or is about to be destroyed. People jump out, and sure, if you've got an RPG or some C4 or something like that and you end up taking out a tank like that, I think that's fine, that's understandable. You've played your tank's about to explode, and you jump out and continue to take out the tanks. I think that's fine. But when people are just purposely setting up their SOFLAMs and hiding in the bushes while everyone else spawns in, runs up to the top of the hill and destroys all the tanks with javelins, I think that's kind of missing the point of the game, and I can't help but think that yeah, it's going against what DICE intended with this game type. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the size of the maps themselves. Now the maps in this are obviously always going to be a bit bigger because it's all about vehicle warfare. With the all-new planes, and I'm sure everybody's heard about the AC-130 gunship, which hopefully I have some gameplay of that up soon. But yeah, they are very big maps, now, especially if you're console players, which obviously at the moment I'm playing on PS3, which came out on September 4th, and for those who don't know, the Xbox 360 and PC premium players will get it on September 11th. The remaining Battlefield 3 players for the PlayStation will get it September 18th. And the Xbox 360 and PC non-premium members will get it on September 25th. So it's quite a good advantage actually to have the premium PlayStation 3. But anyway, back to the maps. They are really quite big. In fact, some of them are freaking huge. At one point I found myself on a particular flag, and there was, obviously they put a lot of quad bikes in the game. They put a quad bike at each flag, and that's fantastic. You're sort of able to get on that and zip around. But if you're unlucky enough, as I was in one particular game, I spawned in at the flag, and there was an ATV there, and I was standing there capturing the flag, staying out of sight, and just as I was about to go towards the ATV, my teammate spawned behind me, went and jumped on the ATV and rode off. So I decided to make the long run over to the next flag, and just as I was approaching, there was a tank there, a helicopter flew in, blew that tank up, and it was captured by a fellow teammate. So by the time I arrived, it was a good 250 metre run, something like that. By the time I arrived, I missed out. Got there, everyone had driven off, and I was stuck there again with no ATV. So as we were losing the flag I just ran from, I decided to run back to that one, which I did. And then, upon the long journey, somebody had come in, shot the person that was trying to capture that flag, and again I was returned to a flag that I didn't need to capture. No ATV, no vehicles, no one there to help me out, so again I had to run, this time to a new flag. And I ran all the way to the new flag, which is damn near 300 metres away from me, and by the time I got there, I got shot straight away. There was a sniper sitting up on top of a hill there to the side, and just as I was running in, trying to be as stealthy as I could, didn't matter, he obviously had that line of sight locked in, saw me coming, power headshot, and that was me. So it is really frustrating if you don't have a vehicle to get around these maps. I'm sure when you're playing on PC and you're into the 64-man servers or even the 32, it's not going to be such a huge deal, because you're going to have these little cluster fights everywhere where, you know, it doesn't matter what flag you're at, there might be huge fights between a couple of the flags, and maybe there's even going to be more vehicles spawning in, I'm not 100% sure. But I think it is something that will be alleviated for the PC, but at the moment on the consoles, some of them do seem quite big, and it does make me question the longevity of these maps. Are people still going to be playing it in 2 months' time when all the fuss has died down? Everybody's had a bit of a go. How popular are some of these massive maps going to be, especially on Conquest? Which brings me to my next point, Conquest versus Rush. I'm going to put a Rush gameplay up next, so I'm not going to go into it a whole lot. But yeah, if you do play on Conquest, these maps are ginormous. And if you're playing on Rush, you really want to be an attacker, because as a defender, you are often completely outmuscled. They have so much more gear and equipment than you do. But anyway, that's a story for my next commentary. But yes, so that is the size of the maps to give you an idea. Is Armored Kill worth getting? Yes, it definitely is, even if you aren't a premium member for whichever system you're playing on. I do recommend getting it because you get to try out a whole lot of new things, new weapons. Obviously the quad bikes are back, which I'm a huge fan of. I did a little quad video. I was that excited when I first started playing. If you guys haven't seen it, you can see it. There'll be an annotation on the screen here. Okay, so this gameplay is starting to wrap up. Just to give you a few tips, if you, when you do get the game, you jump into Tank Supremacy. I do recommend that everybody run Engineer. You can see in our current squad, everybody is Engineer and has been for the majority of the game. Run a Repair Torch, run your favourite, maybe just an RPG, so you can get out, do some damage. Possibly a support person, but you're going to want people there to repair your tank. Think vehicle, don't go in at too hardcore, you know, sit back, be submissive a little bit, sit up on the hill, be tactical with your tanks, and try and enjoy it for what it is. It's supposed to be tank v tank, to capture one single flag. So yeah, think about not being out there with your javelin and spamming it with that. Get in the tank and enjoy the gameplay for what it's meant for. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this commentary, please feel free to hit subscribe, see more of them. Check out my channel, there are other videos there, and that's me.